All right, and again, a reminder about disclosures. Hypothetical performance results, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you use discretionary funds you can afford to lose. And today, both sides have had some challenges with that, I am sure. Let's take a quick peek at a couple of charts and doing a video on this for those that aren't around. I had said earlier, the best time today could be during lunch that we would get a Contra. And that very rarely do you get just the all day push, 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 but probably lunchtime you'd get the best opportunity. So here was a neckline I put on. This is an intraday neckline, and this broke, and that really started to give us the belief that we could get back. First primary target, we said, have to undo these 25 and a halves. And then the next target, which would be harder, but this was our first one, try to get in here underneath these and knock these traders out. And then the next one would be this support right here that we said this is our squeeze pivot. Now, we also had others earlier, like that 12 and a half and so on. But, I don't have the illusion that we're going down here right now. I said, if we break 22, I think we'll be lucky. And then we looked at a few measures and said, okay, well, it's possible. So this is, in my opinion, if you had some trailers beyond the 24, and this is the next high odds target, this obviously 22 to 20. Okay, because it's the core, the middle zone in here. So these lates are now trapped. And all of these traders this morning who wanted to short this 18 to 22 range are now also trying to wiggle out. They're saying, oh, praise the Lord, I can get out whole, whatever. Depends on how they play it. A rookie is going to just drag everything along with him and, on a wing and a prayer, hopes that it comes back. We try to be more proactive and take the stop out and say, fine, we'll try it at another time and another level. If you took the trade at, earlier in the day saying this is going to work. So at any rate, anybody that has come short side now, we can go anywhere, but by and large, with about an hour to go, you want to make sure that you take home some profits. And if you shorted today and did nothing other than wait until we got up to the high odds zone to short, then for sure you want to take home something out of this swing. So that should cause a little bounce. And the question is, how much of a bounce? Okay, so we've got about a 12-point swing. So about a 6 points would be the middle. So this post right up here, this 27, is going to be key. Half an hour or so ago, I said that, okay, 29 is going to be our resistance. And it either works or it doesn't. Well, it worked. 29 has worked fabulously to contain and hold for this drive backwards. Let's take a look at another chart or two. And basis this chart, you can see where this 32 to 33 area, I said this should be some resistance based on the size of this swing. And if not, hey, they can go any place. But that was our idea. Use this zone to stall and come back. And then here you can see that 25 and a half that we needed to break. And that opens the door then obviously to the 22s, which I said I'm having a hard time believing that's going to break. So we've broken it by a point or so, but this was our primary target, about a dime off of the top. You're looking at a chart like this, you can see where these 22s fall. So that's why I thought it was a logical target for us to try to, with trailers, get to. And this is our hidden pivot chart. You can see the importance on this chart of breaking these 25s, opening the door to further excursion to the south side. Now, on a chart like this, we want to look for our 3-point break because we know eventually that wants to get retested, and that's going to be right in here. Third time through trade. Back here in that 15 area. So that's also a support pivot. And then, of course, that 12 and a half down here. So for now, this is not a bad trade coming backwards, a sneak attack. on the shorts, and we said this is fast, 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 and then obviously we can get fast back up, and then we come right back down. But I think probably for now, this 18 to 20, where traders really got caught earlier, there are going to be some wiggles, and that's going to cause the bounce. So use 18 for your stop if you're buying. And don't think of this coming out the top. This is just a scalp long for a few points coming back against the Contra. Goes thrust up, Contra, and then this is with the trend for today. And I don't think it'll be a big trade. I certainly am not expecting 29 to get taken out. So if you got yourself somewhere from the 20 to say 25 and a half, a retest of that 25 and a half, probably about it. It's getting late in the day, and so the question is, who wants to buy now when the sneak attack was, with much better odds to just ride them? But possibility that's what we've got. And here's our 5, and you can see how this started to roll over. I said we've got to get underneath and stay underneath. So we could get some bounces in here, but I still think that the high is in for the day. Here is that Smokum bar right here that we talked about. Okay, that's this bar right here. We said the low of that bar till that breaks, that's in control. And the shorts need to undo that to get anywhere, because this is where the trap bar was, the news bar. Right? So then this was our support, our primary idea, the 22s, right there, achieved. And so this turned out to be a two-way day, but very hard for shorts who thought that it was shooting fish in a barrel. So this is where you had to be very patient. And we said maybe at lunchtime we'll get the rollover, and it's not going to plunge, going to take some time. And the boys really did pull a rabbit out of the hat today like a magician, and right back up there to retest. Strange game, isn't it? And this is our RTH chart. And laws of proportion here said that we could come back in, get under that 25 and a quarter, and then come back, try to get 23s to 22s. And as we're showing here, 456 trade done for RTH. So both sides have some shekels today, and turning out to be a much more balanced day. But if your timing was wrong, shorting this morning or buying this afternoon, really tough. Now, I have seen trades like this come all the way back through and even close the gap. Could that happen? Yes. Is that what I'm expecting to happen now? No, I don't. I'm finding that hard to believe. So I'm encouraging you to make sure you take home something. If you're able to get back some of what you lost this morning, if you tried shorting too soon, remember, we had the projected target for today at 28. We said anything above 28 was good fortune. So if you started a little bit before that and got a stop out, first goal, get it back. Then you try to make something above and beyond that once you've got that back in your pocket. So no support built up in this bar. It's just a question of can the shorts undo this Smokum bar right here and get back to the 18s. That's why I had posted that earlier, that this 18 is going to shape up to be very, very important. And I always like to look ahead like that. Even though I know it's further away than I'm expecting, I always want to be prepared. And on this chart, angels and demons, we can see 30 and a half is our demon. Kept moving them, tells you trend. And then finally, we get a reversal trend. And keep an eye on time. We've got about an hour to go. And last known support if we're looking at this chart, all this was fast up. But you have to respect these areas coming back. It's 19 to 20. And we can clearly see back here where we talked this morning. Okay, this guy's support right here. This bar, we said. And then the thrust, the pullback. No, you don't. And drive long side. So a little more volatility today than one would expect. I had thought we would get a little more consolidation before the drive long side. This kind of whack-a-mole. I said earlier, this was not whack-a-mole because that usually goes in a stair-step fashion and back and fill and back and fill. But this was a one-way trade. And the whack-a-mole typically will be a one-way trade, but a little more consolidation before the next advance. So we said definitely not. It's like whack-a-mole, but it's not because the pace was so fast. So I said we got ahead of ourselves, and we're going to need to revert it sometime, either later today or overnight. Some of us who want instant gratification, very happy that this has turned around and played a lot more neutrally into a two-way day. And I see that 77 has stalled for the NQ. Starting its regression. Here we go, right into the middle of the angels and demons. And just a beautiful trade to come back into the middle. I know you're not happy, right? You want more. Give me more. Give me more. Be happy. Be happy when we can come close and take something out of it. Reminder, this is not about guessing every little wiggle right. So all the lates today got caught here. And that's the importance of knowing where potential targets are so that if you overstay, you say, hey, I don't want to give back 5 or 6 points to make 1 or 2 more. Anybody that's coming into the middle paid for sure. And not quite 45, maybe about 45 minutes left. So Smokum bar right here, darn close to that. Got to show a little respect. If the boys are really on the game, they would take this out if they're equal opportunity employers. Knock out the low of that bar. But risk and reward time now says make sure you're paid. Don't be greedy. I said be happy if we got back to 22s.